This is Deep Dive into Joy, and I'm your host, Gina Rickner.
For listeners, it's your host Gina. Welcome to Deep Dive into Joy. Today's episode, I just talk about the small joys I saw throughout my cancer journey. I'll go over all the ways I saw God in the midst of my darkness. But first, my favorite drink. Today, I have with me Taylor Dukes Wellness. I'm going to shout her out because she is my absolutely favorite person. But I have her electrolytes, and it is the lemon lime, but all of her flavors are delicious, especially the strawberry lemonade. So you have to go on and see her. She's at taylordukeswellness.com. I drink a lot of her electrolytes, her bone broth protein, chocolate. Oh, it tastes exactly like a chocolate milkshake, and it's so good. But she also has supplements and detoxings, all sorts of stuff on her website. But today, is all about just kind of how I found joy through my cancer journey. So I remember the day I got my results for my biopsy they had taken from my leg. That's where my cancer started. It was started as a mass in my calf. A second one showed up on my ankle. Um, but they had to do a biopsy of it all first. But I had just called my husband. He was at work and I was bawling. I needed him to come home. And I was sitting outside in the sun. And when he got home, he joined me. And as we sat there, we both saw a red tanager bird, and it was kind of just like in the tree in our yard, like right in front of us. And one of my favorite things um, that I love to do is bird watch. Welcome to your 30s. So, usually, like if I see a bird, especially a different one that I've never seen before, I like to look it up, see what it is. I like to look at the meanings of them. So, when we saw this one, like I've never seen it before anywhere, like not just in our yard, but anywhere. And so, like I said, usually I look up the meanings. And my husband and I both whipped out our phones to look it up, and you'll never guess what it meant. It meant hope. So, seeing this bird meant hope. Plus, these birds, as I was reading about them, they're rarely seen because they love to stay like at the very top of trees and in the foliage. So, you really hardly ever see them in the first place. Now tell me that wasn't God. Now, through this journey, Jesus has given me many opportunities to find the joy. To live out life in His light. In Philippians, we're told to live innocent lives as children of God and shine bright in a world full of crooked people. We are to be humble and think of others and less of ourselves. And by the way, the book of Philippians is to be one of the happiest books of the Bible, but it was written in prison. So this taught me, don't be afraid to shine my light on the others. So one day I was at my radiation appointment, and I don't know what came across me. I opened up to a lady in the waiting room. And before this, one thing that I like to do is I just like to bow my head and pray, Lord, let me be a blessing to someone today and send me a blessing. So when I did this and I opened my eyes, a lady with a walker was walking around, and she was just, going door to door, looking confused. And I knew this confusion personally because my gram, who had the Alzheimer's, she would do the same thing. And I just knew the look on the lady's face, that she was confused. And even the nurses, they were right there at the station, like really nobody was paying attention to her. So I got up and asked her, do you need help? And she looked up at me and she's like, well, yes, I do. She couldn't find the exit, so I helped her. Do you see just in that one instance how, when I prayed that, God opened that door for me to bring a blessing and be a blessing to someone that day? what one small, simple prayer can do. It helped me lay myself aside for a minute of everything I was going through. I just laid myself aside and I was able to help somebody else. The next week, I'd opened up to another woman in the waiting room, and I don't know why, just her demeanor. It was just like an instant conversation that we got into, and the conversation led to Jesus. I found out she had been a retired nurse, if I remember correctly. She taught for 30 years at Lock Haven Nursing Program, and we just became fastly Facebook friends. And she actually ended up driving me to one of my radiation appointments the following weeks. Like, wow, wow, wow. Tell me God isn't good. Tell me you can't find the joy in the midst of hurt. As bad as radiation was, it led me to two wonderful nurses, the ones like who would take me back and, do all the things back there. But it, you know, they were just so beautiful because they were probably the only two that spoke positivity over me every day and were by my side through it all and just, trying to cheer me on, telling me not to quit, and really just got me through it. And it actually, my last day of radiation, they were the two that were waiting for me outside the door when I left, and, just gave me a hug and told me congratulations and for getting through it. And I just thought that was so beautiful. But I also, another tech that would take me back, I got to having a conversation with him and another girl, and I invited them to church. And, one of my, I don't know, I just recommend that if you can, just take the opportunity to invite one person to church with you if you have a church or go or whatever. But it could literally save a life just getting them through the door one time. That's all it takes is one time getting them through the door, and you could give a new home to somebody. Throughout this journey, Jesus has taught me several times to not fear and find joy. He's taught me faith and patience. Jesus said, "Do not fear, for I have overcome the world." None of your problems are too big for him, not even cancer. I feel like we gotta stop putting God in a box. Start praying big prayers, not just the small ones. Nothing is too big for him. He's taught me healing is a process, and I have to trust in him. He's brought my husband and kids along for the ride too. After my lung surgery, my husband prayed for me out loud for the first time in our marriage, 13 years of marriage. That was the first time that I heard my husband pray. Not only do you walk through these journeys, but your family is also walking through them with you, your friends, the people surrounding you, your community. This has even brought my husband closer to him, my children, moving their hearts more towards Jesus. Now, tell me you wouldn't be joyous about that. My journey has showed me to just take every chance I get to bring my kids closer to him as well. I never really opened up to my kids before, or I wish I would have known all this before they grew up way too fast. But I wish I would have been taking them to church all along. I wish I would have been having the conversations about Jesus with them all along. But it's never too late. It's opened so many doors for me to teach my kids how to grow their faith and share Jesus with them every chance I get. And now not only do I do that with my kids and my family, my friends, but I also do it with my kids' friends. And just the other day, my daughter invited two of her teenage girlfriends with her to church, and it just brought so much joy to my heart. I also, now I take time to pray over them, which is something that I also never did before. But I actually, like, if they're facing something, it doesn't even have to be something hard, but whatever they're facing, like, I just like to take a moment, just lay my hands on them and pray over them and pray with them and pray that, pray through it with them. And, now I get to share going to church with them every Sunday as a family. Um, like I said, I didn't start them out in church, but as my daughter turned into a teenager, um, I just knew, God was pushing me. He's like, you need to get back there. You need to get your kids in there. And so we ended up going. And now every Sunday, like, that's something that we get to look forward to. That is our family time, getting to go together. And not only, in that moment did I get to have my husband and kids come with me, but I also, got my cousin in the coming, and then it led to my sister and her husband coming, and my uncle and my mom shows up sometimes. So it just brings so much joy to my heart when I walk in there every Sunday and just get to sit with them and having all of our family in that same row in the same place at one time. It's just so beautiful. And I try not to get emotional, it's so hard. But even our church family, like, don't get me started with them because they just, they all bring the joy, and they have helped me through so much of my cancer journey. They did meal trains for me, donations, all kinds of things. And I am just so thankful for our church family and community, and that we get to have that. Jesus, show me how to not listen to the negativity of the nurses and doctors when I was going through all of this. Like, it absolutely blew me away how much negativity is actually spoken over you when you go through stuff like this. It's like, I just wish people could be more positive and speak more positive things over you as you go through all these appointments and stuff. But I never accepted the negative reports either. God says to have zero doubt in Him. If we're doubting, how could we possibly have joy? I am not bound to fear, and I want you to say it with me. I am not bound to fear. We pause this episode to bring to you Altera. Ever heard of a thing called EMF? Well, if you haven't, I'm here to tell you it stands for electromagnetic fields. And that's exactly what you get when you hold your phone, have an earpods, have Wi-Fi. They are everywhere. Altura is your one-stop shop for all EMF protection you need. They are specifically proven EMF protection against harmful effects of EMF radiation. They are patented, peer-reviewed, offering the best protection against the harmful effects of 5G and EMF radiation. However, they still believe the best protection is education. Once you know what to look out for, you can enjoy the security of their whole home EMF protection devices for you and your loved ones. I personally have the Altura Whole House EMF Neutralizer Plug. It contains rare earth paramagnetic minerals found straight from the earth that neutralizes the negative effects of household EMFs on the human body. The neutralization of these EMFs can greatly enhance the environment in which you work, play, and live with loved ones with no adverse side effects. If you want those nasty EMFs filling your home, office, or wherever, visit Altura.com and learn more about their products and shop for what you need. Don't forget to use my code JOYDIVE25. That's all lowercase. This will give you 15% off plus free shipping. This is a limited time offer and usage one per customer. Enjoy a home that's EMF free with Altura. So, through this journey too, God provided us even with financials. If I could give some advice, I would say take care of your health now, invest in your health now before it's too late. Because I would rather put money in my health before I'm sick than after I'm sick. It is so outrageously expensive. So that's just my advice to you. But through all of this, through our community, they all came together for us in more ways than one. Through, fundraisers, donations, just all kinds of things. Like, we are just so thankful for each and every one of you that has been with me on this journey and here for us. And Jesus brought the exact people I needed in my life at the exact times I needed them. So many kind-hearted, generous people. From our neighbors, family, friends, school, church, our communities. This showed me I can always have trust that my God provides. So as you see, joy is all around you. It doesn't matter what darkness you're facing. It's you that has to step out in faith and choose to see it. Choose to see good in people. Choose to have a community. Choose to not accept negativity. Choose your family. Choose Jesus. He is the way, the truth, and the life. This is found in John 14:6. And when you choose Jesus, you're choosing joy. I like to end every podcast with my favorite verse. And today's verse is found in Romans 15:13. It says, "May God's hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in Him, so that you may overflow with hope by the power of the Holy Spirit." That's all for today, guys. I hope you can just find some joy in seeing, the joy that I found in the midst of my darkness. If you're walking through something dark, I hope you take the step in faith and choose to see the joy around you. I really want to thank you guys for listening. I ask that you please share the show if you can. Hit like, hit follow, and as always, go out and find the joy. Have a great week.